I'm Tabria and I'm making voter guides for the midterms this year, and today we're doing Michigan. Sorry I took a little hiatus, I got swamped with work and life, but I'm gonna bang the rest of these states out, so let's go. All right, Michiganders, y'all's primary is August 4th and y'all have open primaries, which means you can choose whichever ballot you wanna vote on election day. And y'all have same day voter registration, so there's absolutely zero reason for you to sit this one out. I'm only gonna focus on certain races, but you can screenshot the guide here or find it in my bio with everything hyperlinked. All right, let's start with y'all's US Senate race. I'm gonna get straight to the point because Abdul El-Sayed is your guy. I watched the final debate between him and Haley Stevens and he cooked. Surprisingly, the Fox moderator was on her head about outside spending and she kept deflecting, and she knows she has something to worry about because super PACs have spent $50 million supporting her campaign. And AIPAC has made their single largest investment of $30 million in favor of Haley Stevens. That tells you everything you need to know. Abdul El-Sayed is an inspiring progressive candidate that can galvanize the voter base, and that's exactly what the establishment is afraid of. Please do not fumble this. All right, let's look at y'all's governor's race. It's pretty lackluster, not gonna lie. Jocelyn Benson is leading the polls substantially against Chris Swanson, and from what I can gather, y'all don't really like him. I guess it's because he's a sheriff, but after looking into him, there is something that just feels disingenuous. He only really has a fleshed out plan for education, but everything else is just fluff. Now, Jocelyn Benson isn't great. The biggest thing she has against her is that her husband works for a company that builds data centers. He said he'll step down from projects in Michigan, but people are still very skeptical. Unfortunately, there are no other strong contenders in this race, and the leading Republican will be a nightmare, so she's your best bet. All right, let's skip down to District 7, where y'all have a good chance of flipping the seat. You have 3 Democrats running, 2 centrists and 1 progressive, and Will Lawrence has always been the standout to me. Now, I know he made an unsavory comment a couple years ago talking about black leaders defending the white left. Hated that. But do I think he's racist? No. I think he has some deconstruction to do. Regardless, I think he's the best option out of the 3. The other 2 don't support Medicare for all, they are weak on data center regulation, they don't support a moratorium, and they take the typical establishment position on Israel, which means they would most likely vote to continue funding them. He's got a real shot, and I hope he earned your vote. Y'all have a chance to flip another seat in District 10, and I'm rocking with Christina Hines. Eric Chung just moved to the district last year to run and is very pro-AI with no mention of data centers, and Tim Grummel has nothing detailed on his website, which is always a red flag to me. And based off their financials, Christina has more support from smaller donors in the state. It seems like y'all are rocking with her too. All right, in the 11th, Aisha Faruqi is the progressive and a candidate I suggest y'all get behind. Jeremy Moss is the establishment pick. There was leaked audio of him saying the main reason he's in this race is to continue supporting Israel, and Don Uford, who's one of the candidates, made a website about his ties to AIPAC. And speaking of Uford, he identified as Republican as recently as 2022, so no. And I like Torres's platform, but Aisha has way more support behind her, so she's your girl. All right, real quick for District 13, it's Donovan McKinney over Sri Tanadar. Sri used to be a DSA member and left because of their conflicting stances on Israel. And I know he doesn't look it, but he's 70 years old, he's worth $40 million, so just go on and retire and let the younger generation come in. All right, that is it for Michigan, and now it's time for your homework. Be sure you're registered to vote, and remember that y'all have same-day registration. Check your sample ballot and polling place so you know what you'll be voting on beforehand, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with 3 friends online and offline so we can get as many people to the polls as possible. That's it, and next up is Kansas.